It doesn't feel that cold. The temperature is close to zero, maybe just below. But the moment you step outside, the air feels sharp and uncomfortable. Not freezing, just unpleasant enough that your body tightens and your face reacts instantly. That discomfort isn't caused by temperature alone. It's caused by wind. Wind changes how your body loses heat. Even mild wind can make warmth disappear faster than your body can replace it. This is why a calm, cold day can feel manageable, while a slightly warmer day with wind suddenly feels harsh. Wind and heat loss. What wind actually does to your body. Wind doesn't make the air colder. It removes heat from your body faster. Normally, your skin is surrounded by a thin layer of warm air. Your body constantly heats this layer, and it acts as a natural buffer between you and the environment. When there's wind, that protective layer is stripped away. Warm air is pushed off your skin and replaced by colder air again and again. Your body has to keep reheating the surface, which costs energy. The stronger the wind, the faster this heat loss happens. This process is why wind makes cold feel more aggressive. Even at mild temperatures, the body struggles to maintain warmth when heat is constantly being pulled away. Skin cools faster. Blood vessels tighten. Muscles subtly contract to reduce exposure. Wind also affects uncovered areas first. Face, neck, hands, and ears lose heat quickly because there's nothing slowing the airflow. These areas send strong signals to the nervous system. The body interprets this as a harsher environment, even if the overall temperature isn't extreme. What makes wind especially uncomfortable is that it doesn't let warmth settle. Without wind, your body can gradually adapt to the temperature. With wind, adaptation never finishes. The body stays in a state of response, constantly adjusting, constantly compensating. This is why standing still in wind feels worse than moving briefly, and why even light wind can make a day feel much colder than expected. It's not about how cold the air is. It's about how quickly your body is losing heat. Skin versus clothing. Why wind cuts through layers. Wind doesn't just affect exposed skin. It also changes how your clothes work. Even when you're wearing layers, wind can make them feel far less effective, and sometimes almost useless. Clothing keeps you warm by trapping air. Each layer holds a thin pocket of warm air close to your body, slowing heat loss. But wind disrupts this system. As air moves across the surface of your clothes, it pushes into gaps between fibers and layers. The trapped warm air is forced out and replaced with colder air from outside. Loose or open fabrics are especially vulnerable. Knit sweaters, scarves, or coats without a tight outer layer allow wind to pass through easily. From the outside they look warm, but inside, the insulation keeps breaking down. Your body keeps reheating the air, and losing it again seconds later. This is why wind can make you feel cold even when you're properly dressed. The layers are there, but they can't hold on to warmth long enough. The sensation isn't sharp cold, it's constant cooling. A steady drain rather than a sudden shock. Another issue is compression. Wind presses clothing closer to the body. When layers flatten, air pockets disappear. Without air, insulation drops dramatically. This often happens around the chest, thighs, and arms, exactly where wind hits strongest. That's also why a wind-blocking outer layer makes such a big difference. It doesn't need to be thick. Its main job is to stop airflow. Once wind is blocked, the layers underneath can finally do what they're designed to do: hold warm air in place. From the body's perspective, wind through clothing feels like exposure. The nervous system responds by tightening posture, raising shoulders, and pulling inward. You may not consciously think, "I'm cold," but your body reacts anyway. Wind doesn't defeat warmth by lowering temperature. It defeats it by breaking the structure that warmth depends on. Why wind targets the face, neck, and hands first. Wind never cools the body evenly. It goes for the most exposed, sensitive areas first: the face, neck, and hands. And once those areas feel cold, the entire body reacts. These parts of the body have a high concentration of nerve endings and blood vessels close to the surface. They're designed to sense the environment quickly. When wind hits them, heat is stripped away almost instantly. The skin cools fast, and the nervous system receives a strong signal. Conditions are harsh. The face is especially vulnerable. There's little insulation, no muscle mass to store heat, and constant exposure. Even a light breeze across the cheeks or forehead can feel sharp. The body responds by tightening facial muscles, squinting, or lowering the head slightly, instinctive attempts to reduce exposure. The neck plays a critical role because it connects the head and torso. When wind cools the neck, blood vessels narrow quickly. This affects how warm blood circulates to the head and upper body. That's why a cold neck can make your whole body feel chilled within minutes, even if the rest of you is well covered. Hands are another weak point. They lose heat rapidly because of their large surface area relative to size and constant exposure. Wind accelerates this heat loss, causing fingers to stiffen and lose dexterity. Once hands feel cold, the body often interprets the situation as more severe than it actually is. What makes this especially powerful is perception. When these areas feel cold, the brain assumes the environment is colder overall. The body responds by tightening posture, conserving heat, and reducing relaxation. Even if your core temperature hasn't dropped much, you feel cold. This is why blocking wind around the face, neck, and hands can dramatically improve comfort. It's not about full coverage. It's about protecting the body's most sensitive heat sensors from constant airflow. Why standing still in wind feels worse than walking. Standing still in the wind often feels more uncomfortable than moving, even though movement exposes you to more air. The reason lies in how heat is produced and lost at the same time. When you're standing still, your body produces very little extra heat. Muscles are mostly inactive, blood flow is steady but not boosted, and warmth is generated at a low maintenance level. In calm air, that's usually enough. But in wind, heat is being pulled away continuously. Without additional heat production, the balance tips quickly toward cooling. Walking changes this equation. Movement activates large muscle groups in the legs and core. These muscles generate heat as they work, raising overall heat production. Even though wind is still stripping warmth from the surface, your body is replacing some of that lost heat from the inside. Standing still offers no such compensation. Wind removes the thin layer of warm air around your body again and again, and there's nothing to replace it. This is why waiting at a bus stop often feels colder than walking toward it, even if you're wearing the same clothes. Posture also matters. When standing still in wind, the body often braces unconsciously. Shoulders lift, neck tightens, and muscles stay tense. This tension restricts circulation slightly, especially in the extremities. Hands and feet cool faster, reinforcing the feeling of cold. Movement, on the other hand, encourages blood flow. Warmer blood reaches the skin and muscles more easily, helping counteract surface cooling. Even slow walking can make a noticeable difference in how cold you feel. This contrast explains a common winter experience. You feel fine while moving, then suddenly feel cold the moment you stop. The wind hasn't changed. Your heat production has. In windy conditions, warmth depends not only on clothing, but on whether your body is generating enough heat to keep up with what the wind is taking away. Body response. Why wind makes you tense and tired. Wind doesn't just cool the body. It changes how the body behaves. When heat is constantly being pulled away, the nervous system shifts into a protective mode, even if the temperature itself isn't extreme. One of the first responses is tension. Muscles tighten subtly, especially in the shoulders, neck, and jaw. The body shrinks inward. Head lowers slightly, shoulders rise, arms pull closer to the torso. This posture reduces exposed surface area and helps conserve heat. It happens automatically, without conscious control. Breathing often becomes shallower as well. Cold air and constant airflow around the face and chest signal the body to limit exposure. Shallow breathing reduces heat loss through the airways, but it also reduces relaxation. The body stays alert, not settled. Over time, this constant adjustment becomes tiring. Muscles stay partially contracted. The nervous system keeps monitoring the environment. Even if you're not shivering, your body is working harder than usual just to maintain balance. This is why windy days often feel more exhausting than calm ones, even when temperatures are similar. Wind also interferes with comfort signals. Because exposed areas cool quickly, the brain interprets the situation as harsher than it may actually be. The body prioritizes protection over ease. Relaxation drops. Small discomforts feel more noticeable. This is why wind can ruin an otherwise manageable winter day. It's not dramatic cold. It's continuous pressure on the system. The body never fully adapts, never fully relaxes. When wind is blocked or reduced, the opposite happens quickly. Posture softens. Muscles loosen. Breathing deepens. The body stops fighting the environment and starts conserving energy again. In winter, comfort isn't only about temperature. It's about whether your body feels allowed to relax. Wind takes that permission away, even when the numbers say it shouldn't.